Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Blue Knitter podcast. My name's Jerry. All my friends call me NJ. They've called me NJ since college. And this is a little corner of YouTube where I am going to talk about my knitting journey. This has been in the works for about a year now, and I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to get into the knitting. First, let's talk about what I have finished, what I'm wearing now. It's my Traveler hoodie. And the Traveler is a pattern by Andrea Mallory. See the hood? Love it. Oops, I dropped my headphone. Technical difficulties already. Okay. It's knit in Peace Fleece DK. The pattern calls for a sport weight yarn, but I'm a really tight knitter, which I'm sure you'll understand more about. Lost my train of thought. It's knit in Peace Fleece DK, and it's a really simple pattern, really fun to knit. I had a lot of fun knitting it. And I was doing the Hoagie Locatelli cowl, and I'm a huge hockey fan, so I found out that the Canucks were going to be adding my favorite goaltender to the Ring of Honor. So I put my Hoagie Locatelli pattern away for the cowl and said I need a sweater to wear to Canada, and that's where this was born. Peace Fleece DK, I knit the body a little bit longer because I am a lot larger than Andrea Mallory and my torso is bigger. So I added, the body is about, I think I knit 12 inches and I wish I did 14. But I think her pattern calls for like 8, and I think it goes to 10 after blocking. It blocks out really nicely, so it looks scrunched up when you knit it, but it blocks out a little bit longer. Keep that in mind. I could have gone longer and I had the yarn, but I just didn't feel like knitting anymore, so I stopped, as we do. And also with the sleeves, I like my sleeves to go kind of like that, if I can do this. But the sleeves are a little shorter than I would have liked, but it still works, it's cute. And then the little pop of color is Spin Cycle in the colorway, it's escaping me, Stonestown. The colorway Stonestown is the pop of color I-cord that I did. I hate knitting I-cord, but my friend told me a trick, and the trick to I-cord is you put on a podcast and you sit there, and before you know it, by the end of the podcast, that I-cord's done. So that is my Traveler. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite knits of 2000, and sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear that. Probably one of my favorite knits of 2003. It's really warm. I find myself wearing it a lot. And I think that's all I have to say about that. I did the tubular cast on and bind off, which isn't new to me. It's just annoying to me, and sometimes I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not, but I always like the look of it, so I take the time to do it. So I am a tight knitter. I did get gauge, well, I did do a swatch. My swatch lied, but I did do a swatch. I did get gauge on the size 5 needles that she suggested. The only thing, if I were to knit it again, I would change, Andrea Mallory tells you to go up a needle size for the sleeves. I personally don't care for this. I tried it once in this pattern, and I think the sleeves are oversized enough to where I probably shouldn't have. But I was already committed and I was already in there, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do it. So I did, and but if I had to do it over again, I'd just keep to the same gauge that I knit the body on, because I knit tight enough to where I don't have to do that, and the sleeves turned out a little bit bigger than I would have wanted at that gauge. All right, but that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about that one. I am currently testing, I'm gonna do sweater whips first, for all you sweater people. I am currently testing a pullover for James and Watts. I'll show it here. It's beautiful. Here's the back. It's just a basic drop sleeve chunky pullover. It is in blue. You're gonna see a lot of that on this podcast. So if you don't like blue, sorry. But it's a basic chunky pullover, knit in Madeline Tosh Home. The color is, the yarn and the color are both discontinued, of course. It's just a really thick, chunky yarn, and I'm knitting it on a US 11, and I'm kind of sick of US sizing, so I'm trying to use millimeters, but it's a really hard conversion. So it's a 8mm needle, US 11, and I've already joined for the body, and I've got about an inch. Oh wow, I forgot I knit that much. An inch or about 2.5 inches probably on the body done. And then I'm gonna pick up for sleeves, but that's after I get to some of my sock whips that I wanna get to first. So James, of course, gave us plenty of time. This took me 3 days, so I think I'll have it done in time. The test is over in February, and I think he's releasing the pattern sometime in February. But I was super excited to test for James. He's one of my favorite designers. Love his patterns. He did the Look at My Holes sweater. And I sent him this email, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited you picked me and all this. And of course he was probably thinking, this crazy woman. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that. It's pretty basic drop sleeve, really fast knit, chunky knit. I can't wait to finish it because it seems like one of those knits where I'll just snuggle up when I don't want to do stuff and sit and knit and snuggle in that. But right now I'm like enjoying this hoodie. It's just so snuggly. Also, quick note, I just moved. That's why I'm not inside. And I also said, if you don't shoot this today, you're gonna let another year go by and you're never gonna shoot this video. So that's why I'm outside today, but hopefully when going forward, we can do the podcast inside, but it's just a hot mess in there that I don't want to deal with right now. That I should have already dealt with long ago, but it's in the works. It's in the works. It's okay. Next, we're going to move on to my why I stopped knitting my Hoagie Locatelli like a cloud. So I knit a Like a Cloud for Hoagie's Cal last year, and I really enjoyed that pattern, and I really enjoyed the fit of the sweater, and it's lightweight, perfect for Texas where I live. I live in Dallas, and I wanted another one, but I wanted it out of mohair because I've never knit with mohair, and I found some Shibui. It wasn't on sale. It was a little bit on sale. So I found some Shibui. And I grabbed it before they, went out of business and everything, while they were going out of business. So this I am knitting out of Shibui. What's the colorway name? This is a lot easier than it looks, guys. I'm telling you. People make it look so easy and so natural. Graft is the colorway. I'll pull that up for you guys. And then I think I could not find it in the, it calls for 2 laces held together. So the lace mohair and then a lace which is baby alpaca, 70% baby story alpaca. So super baby alpaca. And then 30% fine merino. And this is in the colorway Fog. So they're not exactly the same color, but I was like, I can make it work. It's cool. Says the girl who's never knit with mohair before. But I thought that was pretty gonna be a fun project, and it is a fun project. I am enjoying it. I don't want it to sound like I wasn't enjoying it. It's just, I was going to Canada and I wanted something a little bit heavier, and I'm happy with that decision. But this year I definitely want to get this finished, even though I missed the knit along, but that's okay. So this is my Like a Cloud. I have not touched it since I put it down to knit this sweater, but this is what it looks like right now. Of course, oh gosh, it's all bent up, but that's okay. You know how that happens. That shit'll block right out. That stuff will block right out. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but so yeah, that's where that is. It's a textured knit pattern. Love Joji Locatelli's patterns. They wear so well. They're my favorite wears. And I think it's looking really good. You can't even tell that those are two separate colors. Mohair is a beast, that's for sure. I got it all over me. I emailed, I messaged a friend. I was like, is this typical with mohair? And she's like, yeah, but it's worth it. And I did block it to see if I was at gauge with the shape, because I did not do a swatch. I just kind of went off my old gauge. With Joji's patterns, I go up 2 needle sizes because I'm a tight knitter. She's a loose knitter. So I'm knitting this on a US 6, which is a, come on needles. I used to know this, but I don't right now because I'm nervous. A US 6 is a 4mm needle. So I'm knitting this on a US 6. I believe Joji knit hers on a 4. Again, tight knitter. I still did not get row gauge. I got stitch gauge. So I blocked it out, curled it up and put it in a bag apparently. So this is almost 4 inches. I used my little light bulb stitch markers. Can you see that? There we go. I use the light bulb stitch markers to track each repeat. I find it easier than going back and counting, and then all I do is just count the bulbs. Not my tip. I stole it from Crazy Sock Lady, and I use it probably in every pattern. I use light bulb stitch markers to track where I am on the rows. Typically it's every 10, but with this pattern I think it's like every 8 or 4. Can't really remember. But it is like a cloud, and it's cardigan, and it's super soft, but the row gauge didn't block out. This should be 4 inches, and on my other sweater it was 4 inches, but my other sweater was super wash. So it did take to the blocking a little bit differently. So I think I'm gonna do one more repeat of this, and then I'll be at the right spot to do the front. So the way this is knit, this is the back. So it starts at the back, and then you knit the front, and then you join it in the half round to make the cardigan, and then you knit down to the body, and then knit the sleeves. And it has no button band, which I love. I have to go back and do a button band. I do like a button band on a cardigan, but this particular cardigan, it doesn't need one. So that, Like a Cloud by Joji Locatelli, and that's one of the whips that I hope to get done this year for sure. We'll see if that happens, because you know what happens. You get distracted by the shiny knitting objects and something else comes along and you want to knit that. But that is that whip. It is living in my Joji & Co bag, the blue one. I was so excited when Joji announced this bag, and I was like, I have to have that bag, even though I already have a Pampa. The bag's called Pampa, by the way. I have one in yellow. Yellow and blue are my 2 favorite colors. I have one in yellow. I did not have one in blue, so of course I had to get the blue one. And then she announced one in teal that I did not get, but it's okay. I have FOMO for it, but I did not need a 3rd Pampa, and especially at the price point, it made no sense to get a 3rd one, because I'm fine with that cute little baby blue one. I'm gonna keep telling myself that. If somebody has the turquoise one, they want to sell it, I'll take it. Okay, so that's that. I think everything else is socks. So I want to talk for a second about my sock journey. I knit my first sock when I've been knitting for about, I think almost 20 years now, I want to say. No, my bad, 10 years. It's been just over 10 years. Feels like longer, you know. So I've been knitting for just over 10 years, and I wanted to knit socks one day, and so I was like, oh, it can't be that hard. So I tried to knit the sock, tried and failed, and then I took a class at a local yarn shop, and I took the class on the sock, and then I was on a 1.5 millimeter. 1.5 US 1.5 needle. I can't remember the millimeter size, and I don't use 1.5s. I don't have one with me, so I can't check. But it was on a 1.5 millimeter needle, and I was trying to do it, and I just got so frustrated that it wasn't going fast enough, because at that point I pretty much only used worsted. I wouldn't even use DK. And I got frustrated when I wasn't going fast enough, so I never got past the toe increases, and it made sense. And so put that down, knit a bunch of sweaters to the point of where I just didn't even wear them, I just knit them. And then I decided, well, this sock thing can't be that hard. So I got a pattern and I tried to knit a toe-up sock because everybody told me a toe-up was easier. I got stuck right at the heel when it was too tight and did not fit, because I, of course, didn't know what I was doing and didn't cast on enough stitches, didn't know anything about socks. And there weren't really a lot of resources to help me with these socks. So I scrapped that and said, nope. So that would have been my second attempt at socks. My third attempt was Joji Locatelli's Last Cow. I tried to knit these socks, they're lace. Why can't I think of the name? Oh, her caramel sauce socks. Very pretty. If I knew how, I know how to edit, but I don't know how to edit from stuff on my phone, so we'll see if I manage to figure that out and put that in. But they're these really cute lace socks, and I think Joji knit them on a US 1 or 1.5. And so in my head, it's a Joji Locatelli pattern. I'm gonna go up 2 needle sizes and it's gonna fit because Joji has such a loose gauge. So I did that, and then I think I even went up a size in the pattern. These socks were massive, and then I got frustrated because it was taking so long, and then it was a lace pattern, and so I got to the heel flap, and then I got to the foot, and then I said, no. And so I pulled that out and said, maybe you're just not a sock knitter. And then Laura at Always Be Kind Yarn had this really cute Blink-182 colorway, I Miss You, and I had already bought some Laura's yarn and already tried to knit socks, and so I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I went to Crazy Sock Lady's vanilla socks on magic loop pattern, and I used that yarn because I really wanted those Blink-182 socks. I keep talking about them. Give me a second, I'm gonna go get them because I forgot to get them. Okay, that didn't take very long. So I really, really wanted to knit these Blink-182 socks. So just getting my stuff together here. So I was like, I have to have them. They are Blink-182, and it's a color called I Miss You. Laura is Laura at Always Be Kind Yarn. She is one of my favorite humans in the world. So this is my first successful sock. Thanks to Crazy Sock Lady. Why do I keep trying to call her Crazy Cat Lady? But thanks to Crazy Sock Lady, this is my first successful sock. Colorway I Miss You. I did the teal on the cuff, and then I did the teal on the heel. Did not know what I was doing, so of course I cut yarn and broke it and all this other stuff, because I had no clue what I was doing. Knit the gusset. These turned out a bit short, but the point is I knit a sock and it fit, and it was soft, and it was cozy, and I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. Then I knit the second one. Laura was impressed with how fast I knit it, and because I knit these in about a week, because I was listening to Blink-182 and I was having a nostalgic moment. So I knit them, and I was like, oh my god, I love this, and it was so cool when it all came together, and I got the toe and everything right, and like the stripes. I don't know where the other one is, and I'm not gonna waste time to go get it, because again, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to edit, so I'm not gonna go waste time to get it. But I did finish 2. That's my I Miss You sock, my bad. And that was my first successful sock. And then, I don't know if anybody watches Nitty Natty. I love Nitty Natty. I'm part of her membership. If anybody is in their membership, hi members, thank you for watching. So Nitty Natty did her sock week, and I was like, I could do this. I could totally do this. So I did a sock during sock week, and that was in July, and I have not stopped knitting socks since. They are just the perfect thing to just wear around the house. My feet are always cold, so they're perfect. My hands are always cold too, but I used to knit tons and tons of mitts because there was none of that weird heel turn crap in there. So now I'm obsessed with socks, and I'm obsessed with trying to find out which sock heel is gonna work, which sock technique works for me. As of right now, I'm a magic looper. I've tried 9-inch circular needles. If anybody watches Needles at the Ready, you'll get it. 9-inch circular needles. But I've tried 9-inch circular needles. I do like that, but it hurts my hands, so I have to kind of get to like about an inch of the sock before I can switch to 9-inch circs, because it just does kind of hurt my hands. But I do like the close join that it gives. But again, tight knitter, so I don't really get that weird jog in the middle. So, but that is my segue into my other, I'm not gonna call them New Year's resolutions anymore, I'm gonna call them my New Year's goals. So one of my New Year's goals, or my goals for the year, is to knit a sock a month. And it's not a new thing, everybody does it. So, and now I'm just on that journey, because I never really understood sock knitters. I never understood like the lore to it. Like, why do you keep knitting socks? Like, why? Like, the yarn costs so much money, and they take so much time, and they're on these teeny tiny needles, and you just keep knitting socks. But now I totally get it. I'm here for it. I'm with you guys. Understand. So I'm just gonna knit socks until I can't knit socks anymore, and I don't want to. And it's another one of my goals this year is I'm gonna knit what I want. So let me show. So my current sock that I'm very mad that I don't. It's 2024, and I started these socks for Hohi's cow last year, and I was really upset that I have not finished them. So my first sock whip that's going into 2024 is the Roam If You Want To socks by Hohi Locatelli. Okay. And down there on the foot, this is just every 10 rows so that I can make the foot right. And then this is just every pattern repeat so I get the patterns right on the cabling, because the cabling was kind of tricky. I guess I'm going to talk about these socks and why they are still a whip in 2024. So I cast these I cast on the first size, which was I think in the 70s of stitches. So 70 something stitches. And I cast them on, and I was like, this should be fine. It's plenty of stitches. And I got to about here, I want to say, and I got to the cuff, and the cuff got over my heel. So I'm like, good, bam, bam, keep going. So I got to about the second cable repeat, and I couldn't get it on my foot, and I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. I know better by now, because I've knit enough socks to know that it's not going to be fine, and you need to stop as soon as you can't get it over the heel. So I got down again, I think a few more cables, and then I was like, nope, you're not doing this, you're frogging. So I frogged, started it over again on a size 0, which I've never did socks on a size 0 before, still haven't. And I cast on the larger size on a size 0 because it's like 80 something stitches. And I was like, that is more than enough, because my typical sock knitting is between 64 and 68 stitches depending on the yarn and needle size. So I was like, that's gonna be plenty. The size 1's gonna work, or size 0 is gonna work. I got to the cuff, tried it on, fit great. But because of these cables adding less give to them, and then they don't stretch as much as the plain stockinette, by the time I got like here again, saying it's gonna be okay, I got it over my ankle. As tight a fit as that was to get it over my ankle, I still got it over my ankle, so it's gonna be okay. It wasn't okay. So I think I got all the way to like 3 cable repeats, and for the cuff I'm knitting 4 cable repeats. And then I said, this isn't gonna work, take it out and try it on a size 1. So I took it all out, tried the largest size on the size 1, and I said, if this doesn't work, we're gonna go to 1.5. And if that doesn't work, we're going to just abandon the whole project, because it was not meant, you're not a sock knitter. You don't get to do all over cabled socks. Even though I wanted to knit all over cabled socks and call myself a sock knitter, because I'm a sock knitter, baby, like Stephen West says. And we're gonna get to him later. So, yay, size US 1, the largest size, is what finally did it for me, and I got that done. And I love these socks. They turned out a little bit long, just a little bit, but I didn't interrupt the cables, so I think it worked out good. And just that little hair long, but you know how socks are, they kind of like to stretch out a little bit as you wear them. So, but these I'm gonna be super, super delicate and careful with, because I love them too much. I wanted to finish them by 2003, by the end of the year, because I didn't want all these sock whips going in when I was trying to do my sock challenge, but it didn't happen. I cast on my James and Watts test because I was so afraid that when I do a test, I'm really afraid I'm not going to make the deadline and I'm going to upset the designer or disappoint the designer, and the designer needs that data to release their pattern. So I try to make my test knits my main priority. So I cast that on, and it took me 3 days to join in the round. So I'm like, this is gonna take me 2 weeks. It's a 2-week knit. It's easy, it's plain stockinette. Like, you can knit your socks, like give yourself some sock leeway. So I allowed myself to finish, to pick up my Hoey socks back. Sorry, my Rome if you want to socks, whatever you want to call them. And I had some work to do, of course, around the house, but you know what that means, procrastinating. So this is the second sock, and I have just finished the cuff today. Look how cute that is. And I'm working on the heel flap. And the heel flap in this, it's also a cabled heel flap. Look at that, look at that, so pretty. So got a cabled heel flap on there, and then there's a heel turn at the bottom, you know, typical sock without giving anything away, because that's just how a sock's knit. But they're so beautiful, and every time I look at them I smile, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to wear these. So that's that, and I can't wait to wear them. And they are knit with, I got this yarn at DFW Fiber Fest. It's Wisby Stitches. My boy Rick, love him, he's the best. And he did this whole 80s collection, and I saw this online, and then I even got a coupon to buy it off Etsy. You know how Etsy will send you a coupon sometimes. And I was like, no, you're going to Fiber Fest, don't spend money, don't be crazy. And then I ran to his booth. His was the second booth I went to at Fiber Fest, because I was so afraid he was gonna sell out. And then he sees me, we take a photo, you know, I love Rick, Rick's the best. Rick's one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, but I'm not going to talk about that because I haven't asked him if I could. But anyway, it's on his ultra soft sock base, and it's in the colorway Breakfast Club. Everybody can see that I paid $30 for it. There you go. And I love this color. It's got some blues, it's got some neon yellows, it's got some speckles of purple. And you know Rick, he's like a pink guy. But for him to dye this was just like, I felt like he dyed it just for me. So I was like, ooh, squishy. But anyway, I ran there, and then I was talking to Rick for like a couple seconds, and I said, you know, I love it so much. And I was telling myself that if I saw it in person and I still liked it, I was gonna get 2 skeins. And Rick goes, get the 2 skeins. Just in case, you can always make a second pair of socks or do something else with it because you love it so much. And I'm really glad he did. Kind of wish I got, I wanna wear this in a top. Like, it's just so, it's so me. It's neon, it's blues, it's yellow, it's 80s. It gives me all the vibes. But I love it. And then what better than knit a sock called Rome If You Want To. And so every time I pick them up, I think of the song, I think of the 80s, I get some throwback vibes, and I am a very 80s mindset person with my colors and my vibe, and That's just me. So I'm hoping by the next time I talk to you, these socks are done, because I'm about to go into a Zoom with Gary Knits, Gary Rides. It's a cast on day for another project for his AIDS. But I can't cast that on because I am finishing these socks. This is pretty much the only thing I'm working on unless I'm walking are these socks. So that is that sock whip. Roam, if you want to, by Hohe Locatelli. And that's that whip that's going into 2024 that I'm upset that's going in, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. You only have two hands, but you only have so much free time. And my next whip, well, you know, are they really whips or are they hoes? It's a hoe with a whip. Let's call it that. It's a hoe with a whip. So my next one is the Morning Coffee Socks by the Crazy Sock Lady, because I'm obsessed with her because she taught me how to knit socks. And this is on Ruby and Roses. It's a sock set with her. It's one of her Equinox sock sets. And it's just some very bright neon yellows. She's got some pinks in here that make it look kind of orange. And then she's got, I believe it's called Nugget, is the toes. And I did the Crazy Sock Lady pop of color at the top. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. What I did not like about it is this twisted rib. As a tight knitter, I find it hard to get into the stitches. And the reason why I'm just at the cuff of the second one is because I want to do my first video tutorial on how I knit through the back loop as a tight knitter. And I think it would actually help a lot of people. So look forward to that. It is coming. I've said that I'm gonna do it. That's why that's why I don't pick these up very often, because they'd be a really great walk-in knit project or a really good morning knit project. You know, you're sitting there with your coffee, your brain's still trying to wake up. Let's be honest, cables in the morning leads to frogging in the evening. So, but I do pick those up in the morning. I just have to be very careful. And that's just because I am hell-bent on finishing those socks so I can call myself a sock knitter. And that's gonna kick off my sock journey in 2024. So these, I'm not counting in my 2024 finishes because I started them in 2023. All of my monthly 2024 socks are going to have to be started in 2024 and finished in 2024 for them to count. It's just the logic that I'm using for this. And I like that logic, and you know, it's my knitting and I'll do what I want. So, and we're gonna talk about one more. So if you are curious about these sock blockers, I'm really sorry, but you cannot get them. They are my Barbie sock blockers. They're glitter and they're purple because she, of course, it's Barbie, so she only came in pink, gold, and purple. So I got the sparkly purple because purple is blue's cousin, and purple is probably one of the, it's in there with the colors, but it's not on my favorites list. But I do like purple, but I couldn't pass this up because I love Barbie. I've had so many Barbies, and she's just, Barbie's been a big part of my childhood, big part of my adulthood. We'll get into that later because I don't want to ramble. And I didn't think this was going to be that long. And I don't want to, well, I like long podcasts because I sit there and knit. But anyway, Barbie sock blockers, I got them from Fangirl Fiber, and when she was doing her whole Barbie thing, she might bring them back because I know sometimes she brings back things, and she just, I love her because she's like, this is my business, I'm gonna do what I want. And that's what she does. So, Fangirl Fibers. I know she's probably gonna have some more sock blockers this year. I just don't know if they're gonna be Barbie, sorry. But I do love them. So sparkly, so lovely, so purple. So I'm going to talk about my last sock whip of 2023/4 that I have to get done this year. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily get them done before I start my sock journey, but I just want you to know that they're not a part of my year of socks. These are the Shark Bite socks. And oh gosh, okay, next time I'm gonna write this stuff down so I can give credit to the designer, but I'm definitely gonna put it in the show notes below. but these are the Shark Bite socks, and I really wish I could remember the name of this designer, but I cannot. I subbed out a Fish Kiss Lips heel. Oh, I forgot to say that on this one. This one is my first shadow wrap heel. So thanks to Denise at Earth Cones Girl for the shadow wrap heel tutorial. But this one is a Fish Kiss Lips heel because Nitty Natty got me all into the Fish Kiss Lips and loved how my foot just set right into it. We'll talk about what happened to my first Fish Kiss Lips heel on another podcast, just because I'm going over today and I just kind of wanted this to be like a little intro video, and I'm rambling. The yarn for this is Mace of Skeins. She did a little sock set for Shark Week. So Mace of Skeins is the dyer. She's a local to me dyer. She's in Texas. And it's 80% merino and 20% nylon. I'll try to link that below as well. I love Mace of Skeins, but it came with like I think a 50-gram red, and then the rest were this crazy cool blue. Like, how cool is that? I love the color of this. I'm really excited to get these socks done. The only reason I didn't start the second one was because of this cast on. It's like the muscle burrow cast on. It's like a pinhole cast on, and I have to sit down and watch a video every single time. I watched the video by Pearl Together. I met her at Viberfest, and I had to tell her that. I was like, every single time I have to do that tutorial, I watch your video. We'll talk about that later when I cast on the second sock, because that was a fun meeting when I met her. Because actually, let's talk about it now. It's gonna be really quick. I was wearing my Like a Cloud, my other Like a Cloud, my blue one that I'll wear next time. And this woman taps me on the shoulder and she goes, "Do you mind if I touch your sweater?" And I recognized the voice. I was like, I know that voice. And I was like, oh my God, I know you. You have a tutorial for the pinhole cast on. And this woman, she was so like, I think just happy that somebody knew who she was and all this. And so we like bypassed the fact that she had to touch my sweater. I was like, of course you can touch my sweater. And I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. I watch your video every single time I start a muscle burrow. Every single time I need to do this cast on. Anyway, she's a darling woman, and she looked me up on Instagram and followed me. So if you are watching, thank you so much. You're just the greatest person ever, and I love your channel, and I love listening. Like, I liked your little blogging videos and everything. So and her real name escapes me because I've just been calling her Pearl Together. But if you know her. She has the best tutorials, and she also taught me the shadow wrap heel too. And so her and Denise at Earth Tones Girl, but hers was the first video I watched. Denise's, the algorithm with YouTube, it just popped up. So that was the second one I watched. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say, my bad. The base on Rick's Ultra Soft Sock Blend, which was Wispy Stitches, that is 85% superwash extra fine merino, 15% biodegradable nylon. That's that. And that is that. And so that is all of my sock whips. I think 3 very doable. I can get those done in a few weeks if that darn Hoagie sock doesn't give me any more trouble. And we're gonna get those done so that I can start my sock journey. And I'm really excited about my year of socks. I'm excited to share it with you. I'm excited to be on YouTube and be this person. And it's scary, it's intimidating, I'm nervous, I'm probably awkward, and nobody's gonna watch this. So it's fine, because nobody's gonna watch this. So one of the socks that I'm really interested in casting on is the Joyful socks. Oh no, I'm that person that forgets everything when they get in front of the camera. Find the Joy. I think it's Find the Joy. I'm supposed to have my iPod. You guys don't know, like when you, oh shoot, I had one more sock whip. The last sock whip is, it's living in my Jezebel Bee Walking knit bag because it's a vanilla sock. And this is just a plain vanilla sock. and it is my Vancouver Canucks socks because I went to Vancouver for the game and I needed something to knit on the plane. And so I think I cast on 64 stitches, and then I did a 2x2 rib for 15 rows and 15 rounds, and then I did a plain knit round, and then I joined at the blue, and then I knit all the way down. Did a fish kiss lips heel in the blue. She gave me a mane, and then this is and then I just worked until I got to a decent color stripe for the toe because I didn't want the toe to end on that little green part. This is in tumbleweed yarn, and it's a 80/20 merino. She's a local dyer in Texas, but I think it's the Houston area, and she's just the sweetest woman. She has an Etsy shop, and I'll link her below. Can't remember her name, but she was sweet. And it is in a Buffy koozie, which I love because I've never tried a knit koozie before, but now I don't know how I ever lived without them. But this is how much I have done on the second one. So I told you guys I have a problem, the sock thing. It's not going away. So that is that sock whip. And so that's 4 sock whips. This one is a part of one of my other goals. And one of my other goals is a 30-minute walk a day. And I find it easier to get that walk in if I'm knitting. So walk and knit. I just put the bag on my wrist and I walk and knit. And I'm here for it. I love walking and knitting, and it's gotten away from me a little bit with the move and all the chaos of life, and it's something that I definitely want to get back into doing. So that's my other goal, is to walk and knit, and I'll have plenty of socks to walk and knit on. The reason why I had to record this today is so I can wind this darn yarn for the Joyful Socks. So anyway, I was talking about the Joyful Socks. Joyful Socks by Crazy Sock Lady. And I was trying to find stash yarn because I'm also another goal is to stash down a little bit and buy a little bit less, because let's be honest, I've been knitting for over 10 years and I have a lot of yarn. We do it. This is what we do. So I wanted to buy a new skein, but I decided not to, so I ended up going and stash diving, and I was like, well, what yarn I knew I wanted to use. This is what I decided on, and it's from Stellar Needle Craft, and it's on their Polaris sock base, and it's called Winter, I can't read backwards, Winter Grasp. And she still has some of this on her website because I was smart enough to check. And it's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina, 435 yards, 100 grams. And it's so beautiful. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. Sparkle. I hope that's not backwards, or it doesn't show out backwards, but I think it is because I didn't change it. I'm sorry, technical difficulties, first podcast. Please don't be mad, please don't hate me. So that, and then I was trying to find a yarn for the cuff. This was in my stash, Emma's yarn. I got it in Sacramento, and then I put them together and I'm like, this is the exact same yarn, except this one's sparkling, this one's not, and this one has more purple in it. And I said, no, you're not doing it. Like how much of the same yarn could one person buy? Me, and I bought it all. So if it's out there, like just for reference, guys. This is my problem. I just always buy it. Like anyway, so this one was out, and this is gonna be its own little sock, and I might use like a scrappy cuff or heel for it. But this one, I'm saving it for later. It's a very beautiful skein in shade of blue. Of course, I know because I bought like 5 of them, you know. Not all from that dyer, not all at the same time, but there's probably 5 of them sitting in my stash somewhere. So this is going to be my main color. The sock, the Find Your Joy or the Pure Joy sock by Crazy Sock Lady. It's her newest pattern. And it's like a faux cabled sock, so I think that'll be stunning in this. And then this dyer is no longer around, and it's called she's called Heavenly Fiber. I got it at DFW Fiber Fest ages and eons ago. The colorway is called TARDIS, and it is 75% superwash, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina. It's pretty much the exact same base as this. It's just dyers will do different dye processes. But what I like is that the little speckles in this kind of complement this. So this is going to be the heels, toes, and cuffs. And that's going to be the main color, and I'm really excited to cast these on. Now that I have recorded this podcast, I can scan them up and get them on the needles. But I got to finish my Hohi sock first. I don't know if I'm going to finish all the socks first, but my Hohi sock, I have to finish it before I can even wind these up or think about them. So, but I did step one, I shot the podcast. So you guys have seen it all cute and scanned up, and now I can start it. Now my other January sock that I may not get to, because I do want to finish my sock whips so I don't just have a bunch of sock whips on my needles. But my other January sock is going to be a cabled sock by Stephen West, and of course I forget the name. It was the first one that he put out last year from his year of socks. The first official one. He puts out like a freebie, so you get 13. And that is going to be these two. It calls for a merino and a spin cycle, but I was not gonna put spin cycle in a sock. It's just, I couldn't do it. And this is the only spin cycle I had at the moment, so it just wasn't working for me. So this is Mustache Yarn. I got it at DFW Fiber Fest this year. And Mustache Yarn, if you haven't heard of them, they are a Texas dyer. And this looks like one skein of yarn, but it's really two split skeins of yarn. And it's usually, they typically are known for their self-striping, where they will start the skeins in the exact same spot. So all you have to do is wind it and cast on, which I think is just genius. And then this is a mill-in. They have mill-in, so this is 82.9 grams, but it's discounted because she just doesn't. She said she didn't want to put all those mill-ins on the website, and can you blame her? She had a lot, so they were in this big grab bag, and you just got it was a free-for-all. And I was like, yes please, yes please. This turquoise was just, you don't need it, but it's solid colored turquoise sock yarn. You need it, so I got it, and I'm here for it. This is in the perfect sock base, 75/25 superwash merino. And that is, I get 460 yards for that, so that should be fine for the main color. And then, like I said, 82 grams, so I could do a whole sock out of 82 grams. So this should be fine for the contrast color. And if I could remember the name of the pattern, I'll link it down below. But I hate those YouTubers that get on. It's like, how do you forget that? Now I know. It's not that easy. And this is in the same base, the standard sock. And the colorway, Wintry Mix is the colorway on that. But those are the two that I plan to go in January, along with finishing my sock whips. And I think that is more than enough when it comes to socks. And if I say the word sock one more time, all of you people who were me and those non-sock knitters are gonna be like, why is she still talking about socks? Like, but socks, how could you not? Sock. So that is that. I'm gonna end it here because, again, I did not know this was going to go on that long. And I'm gonna try to do better next time, but I just really needed to do this and get it out. So if you are still watching, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment below and let me know, like, if the video was backwards. I'm gonna watch it again so I'll know if it's backwards, and I think it is backwards, and I'm gonna try to fix that next time. I hope the audio was okay. I hope you could hear me. I hope I wasn't mumbling too much, and I am going to just get better and do this journey, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And if nobody watches, nobody watches. If somebody watches, yay, thank you. So I hope to do this again in a month. We're gonna see how this goes because it's very awkward to talk to nobody, and it's very hard to put yourself out there, and we're gonna see. But for right now, I have 30 minutes of walking and knitting before the sun goes down. So have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. You have no idea how much it means to me that somebody would be interested in hearing about my socks. So have a good one. Bye.